Welcome to the Verde Verde Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verde. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Going to be talking about the LSU draft class. Going to be reflecting on where everybody went. Talk about the Saints draft class. Is it that big of a deal? Is it that bad? We're going to talk LSU baseball versus Tennessee. As per usual, live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. Facebook, YouTube. Hit that like button. Drop any comment you have below. We'll get right to it. Let's talk about this LSU stuff. We got to talk about Will Campbell on Friday. Obviously, Thursday night gets drafted to the New England Patriots, round 1, pick 4. Afterwards, good list of other LSU Tigers got their name called. Second round, pick 42, Mason Taylor to the Jets. Third round, pick 91, Emory Jones to the Ravens. Third round, pick 101, Savion Jones to the Broncos. Fifth, pick 149, Braden Swinson to the Pats as well. Round 5, pick 171, Miles Frazier to the Lions. And then round 7, pick 243, Garrett Dellinger to the Ravens. So a couple of instant takeaways. Very surprised that Braden Swinson slid to the fifth round. You saw his reaction. He was kind of just like, all right, bet Patriots, no ball. Everybody else, you gonna see what you passed on. I'll say the same for Zy Alexander. I mean, we were talking about his praises all offseason long. I thought he was a good corner. Obviously, you got some injury concerns. There's a couple of other corners that got left undrafted. Kobe Bryant from Kansas, another one that is not saying it's the end of the road. It's obviously just a diversion in your journey. You're gonna have another opportunity down it, but one of those things that leaves you in a interesting spot. A lot of other people went to great spots though. Will, Emory, Garrett. Emory and Garrett specifically, Baltimore, obviously Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry got a lot of pieces to be able to bolster that line for. And I think Will Campbell has a great fit as well with Coach Mike Vrabel. As the time went on, you hear more and more about the relationship, the interactions, how they were able to bond and just realize, yeah, this is the perfect fit. This is the perfect culture. They seem like two peas in a pod. I'm not going to lie. The whole draft, though, it was more of the same SEC dominance you've seen through, I think it's been 19 seasons that they've led the most picks in, 19 years in a row that the SEC beat out every other conference. They had the most picks in this draft, 79 this year, beat their previous record of 65. I will say, though, the Big Ten did come in close. They had 71 players. If you add it all together, there was 257 players drafted. The Big Ten and the SEC had 58% of those players in their conferences. Just to point that out. Very interesting. From the signees, the people that did not get drafted, undrafted free agents. Zy Alexander signed with the Seahawks. Major Burns signed with the Bears. Paris Sham with the Bills. Josh Williams with the Bucks. Gio Paez with the Bears. Good luck to everybody. I mean, look, you found a home. All you got to do is get it in the door, bro. You can bust it open after you already open it. Think about Ryan Clark. That's one of the best stories, one of the all-time stories. Undrafted, becomes one of the best safeties in NFL history, gets a Super Bowl, and obviously was able to turn his career around. So it's not always going to define you in that situation. Let's talk about the Saints. Here we go. Did the Saints make the right choice? Did they make the wrong choice? This is just all my opinions on this. So obviously, pick 9, we talked about it. The Saints drafted another offensive lineman. It's a high priority position. You're in a spot where damn near every single thing you could have picked would have been good. I'm not gonna lie. If you look at the tackle value, Kelvin will probably make around $5 million a year. I looked at the average left tackle salary. It's around 15 to 18 million in terms of your top 25 tackles. And if you do the math, there's only 32 left tackles in the league. So top 25 puts you at just about everybody. It's not even really average at that point. But I think Kelvin's a unit. I think it's a great pick. Obviously, people want more excitement in the first round, but look, it is what it is, especially when you're in the situation that you are in. Move to the second round. Now, obviously, this was not anyone's expectation for the third quarterback off the board. So I can get where the initial confusion was. However, it seems like all signs are pointing to, obviously, Jackson Dart was their guy. Yeah, he got drafted before they were able to make a trade to get back into the first round or potentially wait for the second round. I think it threw them off a little bit. I think they had to regroup. This was probably their next best. A lot of people had, their hands up in arms about the Shedeur Sanders situation. I, I feel like that was pretty explainable. I feel like that stock sliding, and it seemed like you could pretty much take him late second, early third. There was no point in casting that out. You had a lot of other names you could pick from damn near every other quarterback. Quinn, Will, Dylan, I believe Jalen. Well, shit, obviously everybody if he's the third off the board. Here's the thing. I found a couple of like critiques on him that I'm not really siding with. at least for lack of a better phrase. Like, I get it, it's a confusing pick, I guess, but the fan reaction just kind of threw me off a little bit. The first thing everyone's complaining about is the 6 years in college football. My mind immediately went to Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, and it's ironic because it's all Louisiana quarterbacks now. But Burrow and Daniels played 5 years each. It's 1 year less. I don't think Tyler started all 6 years, so it's not even like he's in a situation where he was just over and over and over playing. He just had to wait his turn. We know a couple of quarterbacks like that. We know a couple of quarterbacks who were able to, transition fast in the NFL based off of, quite frankly, how much experience they've had. I feel like watching Jaden Daniels translate at the league. Sure, yeah, he's really successful and he's in a really good situation. Those are two factors I feel like that don't really go talked about enough. The situation one specifically. You got to go to a spot that's going to put you in a spot to win. But in Tyler's instance, I feel like what he was able to do, I believe, at Texas Tech, at Oregon, and at Louisville, I feel like he's got enough of the talent where he could potentially be ready now. And it's got to be something in the back of their mind, because you hear all the Derek Carr, rumors and the conversations around that and him pretty much being gone. And now the Saints are in a situation where they got to have a quarterback battle and figure out exactly who they're going to throw out in the field. Maybe this was their way of just getting a surefire, okay, we know what we're getting out of this guy. It's not exactly a project, might not be the biggest ceiling, but at least right now, with what we got, we know what we can expect from him. And then I also think, like I said earlier in the segment, they were locked in on Jackson Darton. When he gets off the board, now you got to go to your plan B. So when plan B activates, obviously it's not ideal, but it should be a positive at least. You don't start Derek Carr. Got a new age at quarterback, and it could potentially be a talented guy. Not going to lie. Third round. Let's move on. Defensive tackle, Vernon Broughton. Safety, Jonas Sanker. Fourth round, Danny Stutzman and Quincy Riley. Sixth round, Devin Neal. That's a steal. I ain't going to lie. Devin Neal at that point in the draft, I'm big on that guy. I think he's a great running back. I think he could be a great addition to that room. Like, that's a piece in the sixth round that you could throw out there next year. Just my take on it. Obviously, very fast, good film. Went to Kansas. Had a decent level of experience and competition, at least, especially. Seventh round, Moliki Matavo, tight end, and then Fadil Diggs, the end. Some analysts are being harsh on this class. I'm not going to lie. Fans obviously are pissed off, but Saints fans are always pissed off. They got analysts rating this class at D-, and I didn't see it. I'd have gave it a B, maybe a B- if I was really feeling, like uber constructive and giving criticism, but I don't think that they really did that bad. I think you're focusing on the rebuild. You had to draft what you did. You had to do it in that order, damn near. You're not in the best spot. You can't just go lock in and get a quarterback when you don't really have an offensive line to protect anybody. It don't matter who your quarterback is. You can bring Drew Brees back from retirement. If you don't have anybody up front to protect him, he's going to have a damn hard time throwing the football. I guess Kellen Moore and Doug Nussmeier realized that. It doesn't seem that hard to figure out. But, I mean, the Tyler Shaw pick, it's not the end of the world. I don't think. I think it could honestly be a blessing in disguise. Let's talk about this, the draft day prank calls. I mean, this the confusing story. If you haven't been in the loop, the son of the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator, Atlanta Falcons DC, is Jeff Ulbrich. Apparently, Jeff left his iPad around in the house or what have you, and the son went in, looked through the contacts, and found some of the phone numbers of the players that his father was meeting with. One of those players, Shedeur Sanders, allegedly. Another one of those players, Tyler Warren. Both of them got a prank call on draft day to be able to throw them off, get their hopes up, and make them think that they're going to a team. And then, boom, you got the whole reaction recorded on both ends, honestly, which is in the modern day age of just pranks in general. The recording is going to be what tips it over every time. That's going to be what ruins it. I ain't going to lie. Because you put your whole face, you got your school on your sweater, bro. Like, within 10 hours, the entire internet had this figured out, investigation over with. And then you damn near cost your dad his job in the NFL. You're not getting that back. Once your record is smudged in the big NFL, I feel like you're getting a lot of scrutiny after that. And Tyler Warren's situation, it was even sadder because the Jets run the clock at number 7. It's like the dude's about to be a top 10 pick, and then he's over here getting his heart played with. He had to wait till 14. like I said, though, crazy unprofessional. Could have cost the dad the job. They're going to do an investigation on this. I'm not going to lie. Falcons, I believe, traded their first round pick away. I wonder if they're going to lose a pick potentially with a suspension. That's a little far, but I definitely do think some type of reprimand is coming. This whole situation very interesting. Even the Shedeur Sanders situation, just watching everybody react to it and just talk about all these different hypotheticals. The Giants meeting, if he was prepared, if he wasn't, that whole situation. It'll be interesting to see if he's able to answer the criticism, quite frankly. And this could be a little humbling moment. It could have served him a good lesson, and now he could build from it and potentially be a better quarterback overall. You never know. Good luck, Shedeur. Let's talk about this Tennessee series. Lord, postponing baseball is just, that's a theme this year. They might as well consider putting a damn tarp over Alex Box to be able to have these games kick off at the correct time. It got moved to like 10 o'clock, finish at 1:30 in the morning. Walk off, shout out Bear Jones. Electric way to finish game one. Game two, Tennessee bit back. I believe it was 9-3. And then in the third game yesterday, LSU kind of started slow in the first inning, but absolutely murked Tennessee the whole rest of the game. 10-run ruled them into the game in the eighth, 12-2. Huge series win. This puts LSU in the top three, if you're asking me. This puts LSU in a conversation where they're one of the top teams in baseball. Obviously, going into this weekend, we had that confidence, we had that feeling, we had that in our mind. A performance like this just assures you something you can build off of for the SEC tourney. Obviously, last year you didn't get the result you wanted. Tennessee beats you, wins it all. Now, after this, I think you can hold your head a little high and build from it, move into those conference tournaments, national tournaments, and be able to swing some bats around. Attendance was nuts. I believe that this was the most actual attendance throughout the entire 3-game series. In game one on Friday, they had the most actual attendance and the most paid attendance. The box was booming. A lot of people that went were talking about it being like a football game day environment. You had D1 baseball over there. You had the number 4, number 5, or number 3, number 4. I think LSU is going to be one of the top teams in the country for the entirety of the season. Like, yeah, you had your ups and downs. Yeah, you had moments like Northwestern State or Oral Roberts. You had moments that just make you wonder, like, what the hell? But you just got to go through the mud. You got to keep pushing. You got to be able to come out on the other side. Look at the light that is bright. And LSU baseball got a lot of lights that's bright. I'm not going to lie. I think it could be an interesting season. Hopefully they're going to be able to give LSU a little bit of momentum to go into fall with. So, gonna need some hype around here. Hopefully next season, you got a college football playoff, you got a college world series, you got an NCAA tournament, both sides. I mean, hey, it's possible. I'm believing. I ain't gonna give up. I'm about to hop out of here in the stream early, head to class. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Hit that like button. We'll be back Wednesday at 9 a.m. Y'all have a good one.